From the Playboy Club in London, the final table of the Party Poker Premier League Mixed Game Championship concludes tonight. 5 players still remain, and only one will be crowned our champion. Let's see what happened so far.
Last time, the final table got underway as we look to crown our first ever Mixed Game Champion. WSOP 4th place finisher Matt Giannetti was the first to fall.
Andrew's got to dodge an ace or a king, and he does it, and that's going to do it for Matt Giannetti.
Max Pescatori and Sorel Mizzi have both increased their starting stacks. The others have remained pretty constant, but the title is anyone's to take from here.
There will be a bet. The question is how much?
I honestly don't know what the right play is. I think I have the more chips. Omaha, please.
I've never said it before, but one time.
Yes!
It's like never easy for you, man.
It's an absolute joke.
Here are the current chip counts. Max Pescatori, the chip leader, 641,000. Sorel Mizzi, a big danger in second position. James Dempsey's held quite steady, while Andy Frankenberger and Andrew Feldman the trailers right now. But this title's still well up for grabs. They are playing every discipline at this final table, with the game changing every level. We're currently in Omaha, then pot limit hold'em, and Mike, Feldman wants to play a lot of hands right now because he knows what Pescatori will do.
Or he's hoping 2 guys go out, where there'll be no limit hold'em to the finish.
Yeah, that's another possibility. And Frankenberger might be thinking the same thing, but you know, it's tough to predict what Andy's going to be thinking, Frankenberger. I think he's got his own little strategy going on. He might want to play Omaha.
No way. 2 guys at the table absolutely don't want Omaha, and that's Andrew Feldman and Andy Frankenberger.
So it might be important to sort of get rid of them in Omaha first, and then go after Max and Hold'em.
So even if you're a Dempsey guy, you know, and play Hold'em well, but you may choose Omaha just for that reason because it makes 2 guys uncomfortable.
Dynamics of this table are going to be so different depending on if it's Omaha or Hold'em.
Look at this, Dempsey, a 3-bet with a king-4 here. He got I'll tell you what, I'm impressed by the way he's playing.
You know, he knows that. That's why I said I knew Sorel kind of knew the dynamic at this stage, and I said Dempsey does as well, and he's proven it back to back. You know, he knows Frankenberger doesn't have peeling stack size. He's just got a razor, a fold, or an all-in.
It's so tough because Frankenberger
just counting out his chips to 38,000, and he realized he didn't have that many chips left.
And he realized he can't. Oh, when he
can't
has
call, but he's probably got the one. He probably got one out of 2 or 3 hands he can call with.
King Queen suited and Queen Jack suited, and even this is going to be all out. This is all in now.
Yeah, we're going to see some
Dempsey has
here.
to be prepared to play for it. There's 130 in the middle. Frankenberger's got 260 left. He's just got double pot bet only, so Dempsey just has to bet call this off. I'd bet like 48,000.
Now for sure he's going to bet. And for sure,
you can't worry about
Frankenberger's going to go all in.
Yeah.
I mean, you are going to worry about the kicker, but by this point, there's just too much in the pot that is just the correct play just to bet go with it. And, you know, if Frankenberger had maybe 350, 400K, maybe he could just play it a bit softer and maybe bet small, hope he didn't get raised or check even. But I mean, with his stack size, he just has to bet get it in.
But you 3-bet before the flop and check 2 kings on the flop. I just can't believe it.
130.
It's quite interesting. I mean, just the idea that you were so sure, Luke, that there's only 2 or 3 hands Frankenberger can have here to call pre-flop.
That's true.
And I think Dempsey is thinking
you made another good point there, Jesse. How about that?
No. Right, but so 2 of those 3 hands. What? Okay, here we go. He check raised them. Frankenberger bet, and Dempsey went all re-raised, and here we go.
Well, Dempsey gave him the chance to bluff his money off in case he had a queen jack offsuit here. That wasn't the case. He's got the heart draw. So little drama right here. Frankenberger looking for a heart.
I've never said it before, but one time.
Don't use it one time. First prize is 100,000.
Must catch a heart on the river to stay alive, or Andy Frankenberger is going to be out in 5th place.
Check the tapes.
And he does. He hits the ace of hearts on the river.
I used it well.
Frankenberger has done it again. He's made a pat hand on the river.
Feels sick. Stone nuts.
He certainly did. Frankenberger, he's been doing it for a while. He's the X Factor. He's the X-Man. He's coming to get everybody. I honestly believe
I'll tell you, not many players would have called the 3-bet with the queen jack before the flop. He did it. I think on that flop, both players have to get their money in there some kind of way, no matter who bets.
It's
That's
interesting.
exactly what happened, but once again, Frankenberger getting lucky, makes the flush on the river, and that booms him up to chip leader.
Yeah, and once the flop.
Oh,
comes
and now
to-
he's going to play. Now it's no limit. So now Pescatori's. That was bad for him.
Well, it's going to be huge. The blinds are going to go up, and for Frankenberger, there's going to come a time when these guys are going to start asking for chip counts. This is massive now. The difference between Frankenberger choosing Hold'em and everybody else now maybe thinking Omaha. This is now it comes into play.
Andy, you take 10 to 1, and I've never said it before.
2 hands left, and Max Pescatori is looking a little anxious. I know I think the tournament director is going to tell the players when there's 1 hand left. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Well, remember, he's got 2 ways that he can get the lead. By him winning pots to take the lead, but by Frankenberger getting involved and losing a pot.
True enough. True enough.
And here comes Frankenberger, but he's got a hand to play.
Big hand.
Ace, queen.
Because the thing is, you won the
Dempsey,
event,
unfortunately for him, he's probably just going to raise, get it in here. He's in a tough spot. You know, he's got 20 big blinds, ace, jack suited.
Really, is it a tough spot?
It's not that tough.
I think you have to re-raise.
It's completely standard,
Yeah, it's
right?
standard. It is standard, but
I mean, ace jack suited in the
it's-
small blind with
no,
a button
of course,
raised.
yeah, of course it's standard.
Yeah, I can't. He's
I
gonna
mean,
raise
it's
it.
tough because the guy's
And I have a
raised
feeling
queen.
Andy
It
just
would
set
be
him
pretty
in.
horrible if he did anything else, right?
Yeah, of course he had to just put it in. Look at Phil, what the hell is Feldman
I'll tell
thinking
you.
about?
This is the only thing that could save James Dempsey right here, is if Feldman makes some kind of move to shut
This would be
Frankenberger
a
out of this pot.
huge mistake. But I don't know why Feldman is thinking even, because we know he's going to
not.
fold.
He's not.
I would be so shocked if he 4-bets his hand with an ace-7 offsuit. Well, it took a long time to get the same result we all thought was coming, and I think Andy's just going to set him all in right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he bet the pot.
Yep, here we go. And Dempsey is going to go from being basically chip leader to being in a bad
Maybe
spot.
it's his time to get lucky, you know. Frankenberger just got lucky in the last ones. I'm rooting for Dempsey to win this one.
Yeah, well, as the cards lie,
Give me
Andy Frankenberger, about a 2-to-1 favorite.
3.5 to 1. You can see the odds there. You're getting a good price. All right, I'll take 3 to 1. I'll take 3 to 1.
No, I mean, you know, I'd like to.
Well, he's going to have to catch 2 runners to make a straight, 2 runners to make a flush, or a jack to take the lead.
Interesting.
Now
Very
he's
bad card. Well, he's got 4 outs now, I guess, instead
must
of.
catch a 10.
Yeah.
Bad card for you.
Nothing else will do. Must catch a 10 to win the pot right here, right now.
Use it to. It's $1 million.
I've given you 1 more out.
A gut shot. And it's a jack.
What a rub down.
Too little, too late for James Dempsey.
You
Actually,
know, he's played well. He's been unlucky to come out in 4th, I think. He wins that pot with Frankenberger before. He's huge chip leader, so he can feel a bit gutted. He hasn't done much wrong.
no, I totally agree. Didn't play bad, just played unlucky. And in poker, to win these tournaments, you got to be lucky. As you said, he was 1 card away from being the big chip leader with 4 players left.
Yeah, exactly. I know one person who's happy I won a few hands.
We've lost James in 5th place, and you did get a bit unlucky there, but did you play the game you wanted to play coming in?
Yeah, I thought I had a faltering start, but managed to get things together. And I was really beginning to get some momentum. Was winning chips without too much trouble. Things were going well. Obviously, eventually, you're going to have to win all ins. I happened to have the best hand, but it didn't work out.
Who do you think is the most skillful player left at the table?
Sorel, I'd say the most skillful player left at the table. And I think he's got a decent stack. I wasn't sure exactly how many chips he had when I bust, but I'd have to pick him here from here to win, I think.
One to watch. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Still 4 left now, and 1 hand until the blinds are going up. But it's not about the blinds going up, Mike. It's about the game changing, and it will be the chip leader's decision. The players have been informed that this is the last hand, and they're all pretty sure that Andy Frankenberger, unless something crazy happens, is going to be choosing the next game.
Yeah, just saddle up for more Hold'em, no doubt about it.
I really have to
Raise to 20,000.
Frankenberger not looking to get involved here at all, obviously.
I would certainly like, I think one of the guys is going to have to just try and make a case for Andy playing Omaha. Let's hear what Max has to say about it.
There is no case, and I don't believe there's any amount of money they got that could pay him to change the game either.
On the turn. On the turn. It doesn't matter.
Andy is one player that came into poker with a lot of money, so he doesn't need money. So it's not about the money for him.
Rather choose another card than have.
It's about winning, and he knows his best chance to win is to play Hold'em. So I don't believe they can buy him off.
Yeah,
But Max is trying. He's going to make an effort to go for the lead here.
I guess that's the implied odds that that's his excuse.
I mean,
he's feeling
he's
like,
only going to do it until it's three-handed anyway, so it's not really that worth. Well, 4 would be a killer card
Wow,
here.
look at this.
If a 4 dropped off, he's going to. No, yeah, he's going to bet this flop.
there will be no checking on this flop.
There is no exaggeration.
There will be a bet. The question is how much.
The minimum bet is 10,000. I do want to inform you
How
in
much is
case
in the
you
pot?
want to bet.
This is pot limit, right?
Yeah.
21.
Why you make it difficult for people that don't know math?
I'll tell you, I think it's worth Max's risk to try to hit the gut shot 4. I really do.
Well, if this
He doesn't know his opponent's got 2 4s.
If this 4 comes, this is, and the 4 of clubs, it can't be the 4 of clubs either because it's in his hand. This would be so sick. And the thing is, it's going to go check unless a high card comes on the turn. So he's got 2 chances for the 4 here.
so right, you're so right.
I got news for you. When Mizzi gets called here, he's liable to check the next street for sure.
If a high card comes, Mizzi will bet. But he's going to check this card. Well, now a 4.
How about this?
Well, this is.
How about this?
Bet 21,000.
Well, 21,000 is like a defensive bet here.
Yeah, I think I don't mind the lead. I would have led a bit stronger though myself. He's bet 21 into 80. You know, Sorel's never going to fold ace high even for that price.
It's
So he should have bet about
less than
40,000.
25% of the pot.
Should have bet about 40,
But
50,000.
remember, he can win with a 7-5 or a 4.
No, he can't win
No,
with
not
a 4
now. Doesn't want that anymore.
No, that's a good card for Max. He can now he has to bet. You know, he could have a king, he could have a flush. Sorel beats nothing now. Sorel has to fold.
Wow.
That was
Well done, Max.
That was a great river card for
Now,
Pescatori
what do you
to-
say now about the tight Max
How about the
Pescatori?
Italian pirate?
I'd say he got lucky
About
with the
the
river
Italian
card.
pirate.
So he got lucky with the river card and he had bad bet sizing on the turn.
And the cutlass and all.
I think I have the more chips. Omaha, please.
Let's break
But
down.
Max, there's good news and bad news. Good news, you won the pot. The bad news is you don't have the chip lead.
Great how this leaderboard stacks up. 4 left, Frankenberger at the top, but everyone thinks he's vulnerable, and Frankenberger's over talking to Kara right now.
Andy, you've had 2 really big pots to double up and talk to us about how things are going for you.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. James was applying a lot of pressure for me, a lot of pressure to me. He was in a great spot to do it. He played really well. But I was fortunate I was able to catch a flush and survive.
And it's good timing as well because it seemed like Max Pescatori was going to be the chip leader coming into the end of this level. He probably would have chosen the Omaha, and that maybe wouldn't have suited you so well.
Yeah, I can tell you I'm not the only one at the table who's happy that I won that pot. There's someone else there who's very happy that we're not going to be playing any more PLO. So, oops, I guess I just revealed we're not going to be playing more PLO.
So which Hold'em?
No limit Hold'em.
So it will be no limit Hold'em, then you're feeling strong in that?
Yes.
Good. Well, join us after the break when the players return to the final table for the no limit Hold'em round. Welcome back to the Party Poker Premier League Mixed Game Championship. They've played 3 levels and the blinds are now 7,000 and 15,000. And it's up to the chip leader, Andy Frankenberger, to decide the game. They'll be playing No Limit Hold'em.
Well, no surprise really that Andy Frankenberger has chosen to play No Limit Hold'em. But the thing is, Omaha could be gone, Mike, because when the game goes 3-handed, it's going to be No Limit Hold'em for the rest of this tournament automatically.
Yeah, I fully expect to see the rest of this tournament become No Limit Hold'em.
It was popular when I was 1 year old, 20 years ago.
You know what fascinates me, Jess, is we're always talking about great players around the world. Here, this Premier League Championship has come down to 4 players. We've got an Englishman, an American, an Italian, and a Canadian. 4 different countries fighting it out for this title.
It's true. That's the greatest thing about poker, is that it really has become international.
Well, Pescatori raises with the 2 6s. Frankenberger going to call him with the A7 of hearts.
Standard so far.
I must say, even though Frankenberger plays a lot of hands from the big blind, he's hard. It's hard to tell when he's got a good hand or a
look
bad
at
hand.
this.
We are going to see massive fireworks here, folks.
You could lock up your bet right now, Justy.
I'm going to tell you one thing. Max Pescatori has 3 6s, the top set. Frankenberger, the nut flush draw, folks.
Well, I mean, Frankenberger isn't guaranteed to check raise here,
No,
but
he's not.
should he or shouldn't he?
You know, I'd like a check raise just for the fact the other 2 are short stack. And, you know, so you can put a lot of pressure on Max.
Right.
And Max can't do much without top set. But he's got top set.
Well, Frankenberger, I think, is going to raise it. The question is, will Pescatori just call and hope to lead him along? Or will he put him on the hard draw and make him pay to draw it and just go ahead and re-raise?
There's also straight draws out there, right? So, I mean, Pescatori has to start moving.
This will be fascinating to watch how this plays out.
I mean...
And you see in Frankenberger's mind, he's just thinking, he knows this guy's second in chips. He knows if he raises and gets re-raised, he's got to go with this hand. He's not throwing it away.
But is there even a reason? Is there a reason to call here? I mean...
There is a reason to call. There's loads of reasons to call. But he's gone for the raise.
What was the reason to call?
Well, there's loads. A, his ace high could be good, so he doesn't need to raise per se. B, he disguises his monster draw for what it is if he does just flat call. There's reasons for both, but he's raised. I don't fault him for it at all. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Max re-raise.
He's thinking it's Christmas.
He's gonna
he is
for
just
sure.
so happy.
All in.
He's going to re-raise for sure.
Bam, bam, bam!
Well, it's all in and called.
Oh my gosh!
Come on, the heart.
Well, here we go.
I'm even betting against myself here, just because I want to see Frankenberger win.
This pot, it's half the chips, over half the chips in the tournament.
Yeah, way over half the chips in the tournament.
All the chips.
And the
Ah,
10
boom!
right on the
heart.
Max cannot believe it. He's flopped top set. Of course, it's not over.
He is tilt.
But the board must pair for Max
Who did
to
I
stay
just bet
alive
on?
in this
I
tournament.
just bet on Feldman to go farther than Pescatori, didn't I? No pair the board. Ship the £100. Let's do this, baby.
Poor Max Pescatori.
Well, you got to feel the pain for Max.
I mean,
Do 6 5 10.
there's still a card to come.
No, do
but
6
Max
5
is
10.
thinking, all that I can do, can I just beat this guy? No,
Boom.
nobody can.
Another
Ship the
heart comes
100.
off. And once again, Frankenberger continues his string of making hands to knock players out.
Wow.
That's how hot. That's how
This
hot
guy,
he is.
this is how you win WPTs.
He's coming for you. Frankenberger is coming to your town, and he's coming for you.
We'll talk about
Well, what about that? He made a heart flush to knock James Dempsey out of the tournament. Now he makes a heart flush to knock Max Pescatori out of the tournament. So hearts he's loving right now.
It's an understandably disappointed Max that I'm speaking to now. You kind of ran into the brick wall that is Andy Frankenberger.
Yes, he's certainly running well, so it's a shame, but of course, by rewatching how I played today, I'll be like ecstatic. I think I really played the maximum that I could, and it's just a shame that I would have had more than 50% of the chips in play with that hand where I'm big favorite. So, but it's poker. That's why he picked Hold'em, because in Omaha, he wouldn't take all those chips.
Well, commiserations, and thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you. It's been really fun. So it's been a great experience, and hopefully I'll have the chance to get back and maybe win next time.
Hopefully see you at the Premier League again. Thank you.
Ciao.
You just kind of felt it, didn't you, Mike? I mean, there's something about the power of this man. He plays aggressive, he plays good, but wow, he is hotter than that flaming red hair. Have a look at the chip movement of Andy Frankenberger. He hung around, and now he's just skyrocketing. He's an options trader, and this is the stock market here. Nice little spike in his stock.
It's not over, and it's still not going to be easy. And even if one of the short stacks go out now, believe me, getting the money from the other short stack won't be easy either.
The raising of the blinds and just general attrition has put both Feldman and Mizzi into sort of For Mizzi, it's less than 20 big blinds. It's more like 16, 17, and Feldman is just over 20 big blinds. But it certainly reduces their options.
Now look at this. Mizzi limping in the small blind here. That's a play we haven't seen yet. And the question is, when a guy limps in, you usually put him on an 8-9, a 9-10, something like that, because the guy's trying to see a cheap flop, and that's exactly the case here for Sorel, but it doesn't happen as it comes king 7 deuce, 2 spades. This is no help for either player. Whoever fires at this pot first will win it. And it looks like it's going to be Sorel.
And this is just Sorel. He's just sort of pulling a new trick out of his bag. You know, he's going to try and win a little scrappy pot. Just win a big blind or two just to keep his head above water before he has to.
Well, he's betting here because he knows Frankenberger would have raised him before the flop if he had an ace or king in his hand.
Frankenberger can think very nearly the same thing that Mizzi thinks, which is that where is Mizzi going to find an ace or a king in this hand?
Look at this. He has made the call here.
And this is a float, Mike, right? He's going to take this pot away later.
Yeah. He's not calling here because he thinks he has the best hand. Possibly the queen eye might be best. Now the board pairs deuces. And this will absolutely freeze, in my mind, Mizzi here.
Check.
Yep, he's going to check. When a man calls you on that board, you got to give him credit for something.
He's tough. Andy Frankenberger is tough. You know, these things might work against some guys, but Andy is not. Look at that.
That's going to do it. But you're right. Give the guy credit, you know.
It's such an odd bet because it's also very, very difficult for Sorel to fold anything that beats queen.
So weird.
But, you know,
when you play a session of poker with Andy Frankenberger, I promise you say to yourself, whoa, what is he doing here? What is he doing there? But his results are so good, it just shows you he's doing so many things right, as you just saw, like that last pot, like the hand he just took away from Feldman a minute ago. He does a lot of right things to make up for the wrong things.
I feel like, Mike, obviously we're watching every one of Andy's hands. I feel like if we were sitting down on the table and I could see every other hand of his, he'd still find a way to beat me because I don't know what he's doing the rest of the time.
Well, so Sorel moving all in here with queen 10 of hearts.
And that's the desperation plan. I mean, this is where Sorel doesn't want to have to get to, just moving straight in.
That's looking good.
Wow, he's got ace-10. I think he has to call here, Mike.
Yep, he does call. He's got him dominated. Ace-10 versus queen-10.
Huge pot.
Feldman in great shape here to eliminate Sorel Mizzi from this tournament.
This is the Sorel's last gasp at it.
You've been good to me all week. Just put an ace there.
And Feldman waking up with the big ace. He's dominating him. Sorel Mizzi has had a great run in this championship. He has fought as hard as any man has any right to.
Nah, ace from spades. Ace of spades.
Unless the queen comes.
Let's come king 8-5 with one heart. So Mizzi is going to have to catch a queen or a 10 to take the lead, or 2 running hearts to make a flush, 2 running cards to make a straight. Needs help, or he's going to be out in third place.
Please. Please.
And you can see how badly Andrew Feldman wants this. It's been a while since he's won a TV tournament title.
Please.
Let's put the jack of hearts up. We have a lot of sweat. Well, the deuce of clubs comes off.
One more.
So now the only card that Mizzi can win this pot with is a queen. Nothing else will do for him. He's down to a lone lady to win this pot and stay alive in this tournament.
Please. No paint. Just pair the board.
I don't think this is...
I mean, you can't be in much better shape than this ever.
You can,
Yes!
And it's a 6.
Yes.
And Andrew Feldman has eliminated Sorel Mizzi.
in third position. I'll tell you what, Sorel Mizzi is he is a poker player. That is the only way you can describe him. But Andrew Feldman is going to challenge Andy Frankenberger for this title heads up, and I'll tell you what, there's not much in it besides the chips.
Sorel came in as the short stack, and after a great first few levels, describe for us the turning point of the tournament for you.
Well, I mean, obviously the last hand, I had 15 big blinds, which was slightly less than I started the day with, or yeah, started the heat with. So I kind of, I mean, I was chipping up really well, and then the blinds kind of just caught up with me, and then I was in a spot where I had to push or fold, and I decided to push, and was in a spot where I was dominated. So obviously it's unfortunate for me, but I think I played well, and that's all I can do.
We will be back after the break to find out who will be crowned champion. Is it Andy or Andy, Feldman and Frankenberger?
Welcome back to the Party Poker Premier League Mixed Game Championship. We are heads up with two players who've had a storming tournament all the way through. You do have a bit of a chip deficit, so how are you feeling going into this?
I mean, this is no limit hold'em, heads up. It's the game where I've been very successful at. I feel very confident in my no limit heads up game. And you know, anything can happen. I've seen these tournaments where players have like 8-9 to 1 leads, and it can turn around. You know, and I feel as if I played very well in hold'em all throughout. Just relieved there's no more Omaha, and I'm just going to put on my best performance. And you know, obviously being in London, it's just like, yeah, I just couldn't write a better script really. So just really hoping that things go my way.
And obviously with the chip lead, and you've had such an incredible tournament all the way through, you must be feeling great.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of a slightly better script, which is the American comes to London and brings it back home. No, I'm very happy to be here. There's some great players at our table. Yeah, I've had some pretty big wins heads up, but I don't know how much experience matters in these situations. I'd like to say it does, but some of my biggest wins were when I had very little experience. So I think we're just going to have to play well and see how the cards fall.
Thank you both and good luck.
Thank you.
Well, look at this head-to-head, Mike, between Frankenberger and Feldman. Obviously, 2-to-1 chip advantage. Anything in these stats? Frankenberger's been more aggressive, I think.
Well, he is more aggressive, and I think he will be in this heads-up battle as well. But it's not going to be easy to beat Andrew Feldman, even though he's got about a little over 2-to-1 chip lead on him.
I mean, Mike, I guess you've seen Frankenberger. He played heads up in the WPT. Do you think he's going to be the kind of guy who's sort of just raising every hand?
I think he's going to be raising a fair amount, yes. I don't think he's a limp-end caller on the button.
Raise to 40,000.
And I think he'll defend his big blind some, so it'll be interesting to see how it comes out.
See, I don't know what he's thinking about here. This is a clear flat call to me. This hand you should not be 3-betting, you should just call.
Call.
Nice flop for Andrew.
Right.
He's flopped top pair here.
Check.
And he's going to check it to the aggressive.
And is this where just flat calling starts to work in his favor?
This would be,
or is it just?
I think Feldman will flat call. I'm not sure what the best play is here. It's kind of close. I was just checked.
Wow. Give Frankenberger credit.
I mean, he's starting to get that little sixth sense going on.
He's just got radar going here.
Check.
Yeah, quite sneaky from Feldman.
And he's checked there to check raise, right?
I hope so. I mean, the deuce is such a
little dangerous. In case your opponent had 8-9, you're giving him a chance to win this pot. He could have a hand like he's got king-6. He could win it if a king comes off. But a 3 comes off, so there's no way Andrew Feldman is not going to win this pot. He should bet here. He may get paid off with the king high, believe it or not.
I think you're right.
The way this hand was played.
I don't know. The only thing is Frankenberger can't really call because if Feldman did have a draw like Jack 9, 8-9, he would have bet himself on the turn. So this looks to me like he's got a 10 or a 3.
He could have 6-7. He could have 7-8 suited.
Yeah, he could. I guess he could have just total airballs. Yeah.
I like the way he sold it with the bet size. It's quite big, really. It feels. Why would you ever bet this size for value on this kind of flop and turn? Oh, he's got him. He's got him.
No, this guy's going to raise and represent a 3. This guy doesn't flat call. That's not how he plays. This is actually a really good raise because it makes perfect sense for him to have a 3 check behind the flop, check behind the turn. And Feldman's like, I can't believe it. But the only thing I'll say is the raise size is too small.
Yeah. So he really has to look at this pot odds way. It's It's not like he would never be
folded.
He's passed it!
Wow.
Oh my gosh!
He passed that hand.
He just got Frankenbergered.
I mean, you have to put him on a 3 there. If you don't put him on a 3, you have to pay that off.
Yeah, but the thing is like...
He underrepresented his hand so much, Luke. He has to...
First of all, his hand was super underreps, but that wasn't the main thing. The main thing was he gave the guy so many free cards there. If he was willing to bet that river, I think he had to be willing to call a raise once, giving the 3 free flop and free turn and free river.
I don't know how you're justifying that. I think he absolutely has to make that call there.
That's what I mean. I think he had to call. That's what I said.
Feldman will not peter out, right? I mean, Feldman's going to get them in a wallop.
Soon he's going to have only 15 big blinds. In 2 hands, he's going to have 15 big blinds. Wow, this is the hand. This is good. This is the hand that Feldman's going to double up with if he doesn't get unlucky.
This is just exactly what he's been waiting for. 100% this is going to get re-raised, and all the money's going in before the flop.
Oh, yeah.
They can all posture they want to.
And not just that, but look, he's going to be a huge favorite. It's all going to be to play for again.
Dominating favorite.
Rewrite the script. Lazarus.
You know, Feldman is loving this. He's going to move all in. It's going to be called, and he's going to have him in a dominating position where he can double up and have nearly 900,000 in chips. And he's counting them up. They're all going in. Yeah. All in and called. Here we go. Andrew Feldman in great shape to double up, so all that abuse he was taking can be evaporated in one smooth stroke right here if the ace-king holds up.
Almost $1 million in chips in this pot. It's Frankenberger's chance for the Premier League title, but it's a thin one.
Well, hearts have been good to him forever. He busted 2 players at this final table with heart flushes. Could it possibly happen again?
Who wants to bet? It's 4-1. I'll take 3-1 if you want, Jesse.
Well, Andrew looks like he's sick here, and I don't know why. You can't get your money in much better than that.
There's the heart.
There's the first heart. This comes 2, 3, 4. Obviously, if a 5 came off, they would split this pot.
Feldman, stop being a pigeon.
A 5, it's going to be a split pot. Doesn't matter what comes up on the river. They are going to split this pot. Andrew Feldman cannot believe it. Look at him.
He's taking it hard. He really is taking it hard. Really.
Well, that one's tough to take, I got to admit. The way he's been abused, he had one shot to get right back in this thing and be far better off than when they started this heads-up battle, and they end up splitting this pot when he has his opponent dominated.
To be fair, it wasn't cooler though, you know. If Feldman had the ace-queen and Frankenberger had the ace-king, would have gone in the same way. So
exactly right.
He can be fortunate that he got in a good spot pre-flop, but...
Well, why don't you explain that to Andrew when it's over with there and see if he agrees with you.
The final table continues after the break.
Well, Feldman's actually in a spot. He's got to play king 10s, king jacks.
Yeah, I mean...
Any ace right now, all in before the flop. You just have to gamble, you know.
Exactly.
So, what do you open shove with? I mean, you're never full for 15 big blinds, Luke. I just
open shove a lot of hands,
right?
But you know, including this one.
With really strong hands, I might raise call.
But you really have to raise call this. I mean,
yeah, you have to raise call this, of course.
But you're almost better off open shoving it.
Yeah, probably.
Well, he made the minimum raise.
He can never fold ace-7, right?
No.
Maybe he'll get a break that Frankenberger will move in here.
Frankenberger every hand picks up the chips, and the funny thing is he's not even going to shove Frankenberger. He makes it just a re-raise.
Feldman is not going anywhere, I promise you. He's got to play this hand. He's got to just go all in right here.
He can't.
Just hope his man's got a Garfunkel again. Don't throw this away, Andrew. I can't believe it.
He won't.
Wow, what are you doing?
Well, that's just...
I mean, you min-raise that hand so you can get the guy to make a move on you with the king high and push you in. You don't min-raise it to fold it.
Isn't what it is is that Andrew's trying to find a great spot.
You're not going to get a good spot with 12 big blinds.
There are no good spots anymore.
This that makes me sick.
Right,
I would have had it all in there for sure, but I might have had it all in there before my opponent had a chance to raise me. He'd had to call me.
You're in New York City, you're trying to park the car, you're just not putting it in front of the house. You're gonna have to just take any spot you can get.
Well, here I'd just shove all in if I was Feldman right here. I wouldn't make a min raise.
60,000.
I mean, we've seen him min raise fold ace-7, so maybe he's min raise folding. I mean, I don't get it.
Well, I mean,
he had ace-7 in exactly the same spot. Frankenberger free bet, and he folded.
He allows Frankenberger to come in this hand. How can he not call 30,000 with this? Oh, he does call.
Call.
We haven't seen a flop in a while, but we got one right now.
Well, I would have never given him this flop if I'd have been Feldman.
Exactly. It's 120 chips is just too precious.
Oh, now it's all going to go in.
We're going to finally see it.
And what we get to see is, can Feldman hit his flush draw? What do you think? It has to happen, right? The chips have to go in right now, right?
Well, only if Feldman bets are going all in.
Feldman always bets this, though. He's betting 70K.
Well, you have to bet. He's
just
got the
has
nut
to.
flush draw. If he raises you, just gamble with this. That's all. It's very simple.
55,000.
And here it is. It's going to be the all-in.
No, he won't. He's just going to make it 110 min raise.
And I'm going to bet 100 on that if you like. And lay a 10 to 1 on it.
He's called. We got action.
Well, it's
Spin
all
the
in and called.
Spin the wheel.
Well, we've seen Frankenberger hit flush after flush to stay alive and win pots in this tournament. Now his opponent needs a flush to stay alive. Can he catch it?
And
I think there's going to be a 5 or a deuce on the turn for the triple sweat.
I mean, think how much the momentum would switch if Feldman. This is you can feel just the air suck out of Frankenberger if Feldman hits this.
But we'll see if it works out. It's a 9 of spades. Now it's not over. Frankenberger has the top 2 pair. I think Andrew just realized that he made 2 pair on the turn.
Oh, you can't believe it.
I can't see this.
Now you'd think he'd be happy, and instead he looks like he's anguished here. He's got to dodge a 10 or a 9.
So guy's
double
got
up.
4 outs. The guy's got 9%. And he is sweating it.
No, you can't do it again, please. Small card, just put a small card, please. Come on, small card or picture card, anything.
What is happening here?
Yes!
Well, it's a 7. So there you go. Andrew Feldman has doubled up.
It's mine, I'm gonna win. No, I'm gonna win.
I think Andrew might have just gone favorite. I mean, the big momentum switch, right?
I mean, Frankenberger played much better than him up until this point, so I thought Feldman was the favorite pre when he had less than this chips, but I don't know. If he continues to fold to him, he's going to get blinded out.
Well, Andrew Frankenberger's got to be saying to himself, you know, I've outplayed this guy completely all the way, and now all of a sudden the guy's got more chips than we started this heads-up battle with, and I've gone down a little bit. I just can't believe what's happening.
I just wonder if Frankenberger is, you know, sometimes you can be guilty of celebrating too early. You know, he is back
Call.
in the thick of it now. This is the least chips he's had since they started the heads-up.
Well, Feldman limping in on the button again. It worked for him the last hand, but it's not going to work here as Frankenberger raises him with the ace-9.
Raise. 110,000.
Feldman's been down, 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 down. Now he's got some chips. Surely he's not going to do something foolish now with the 6-4 offsuit.
I wonder. I mean, how strong does Frankenberger think the ace-9 is? Is Feldman capable of getting him off it?
Frankenberger will 100% go with this hand if he gets raised here.
And I mean, the thing about the re-raise, doesn't it represent such a strong hand?
Yes. You limp in, then all of a sudden you re-raise. That's what he's doing. He is re-raising here. And Frankenberger could either come back over the top all in, throw the hand away.
I mean, it's like Feldman is a different person. Can Frankenberger pick up on this? Because this is something completely different. This is something completely unexpected.
Frankenberger's asking how much he's got.
I'm not sure Frankenberger can call here, Mike.
It's a tough play. I don't know that you can call. I think you have to re-raise or throw the hand away.
It looks to me like he's going to throw this away, Mike. I think he's trying to talk himself into folding here.
When a guy limps in and then re-raises it, you do think he's got a real strong hand.
I call.
Well, this is the last option I thought he would do.
Absolutely.
Because what's going to happen? He's out of position now.
And Feldman
his opponent's going to bet any flop. Doesn't matter what it is.
He might have to go all in on the flop. Look, there's 500,000 out there. Feldman's only got 8. I mean, you can't make a bet. There's just one bet here.
You know, I think you can bet 400,000 right here, right now, and then throw it away if your opponent moves in on you. I think you have to bet. You just can't give up all those chips out there.
I'll tell you one thing, Feldman does not like this spot. What's he going to do?
Bet.
He's bet very small here. Very small.
95.
95,000. Now this bet is going to send one of 2 messages to Frankenberger. You know, he's either got a real powerful hand or he's got a real weak hand. It's one of the 2. It's not a middle hand. It's like he's either got 3 kings, or he's begging you to call him with this small bet, or he's got nothing and he's just trying to pick up the pot.
Oh my gosh. But he's got nothing, Frankenberger. Ace high. This is Feldman's got less.
He is going to make this call. Can you believe it?
Mike, wow. It doesn't seem possible.
That is incredible.
And I mean, it's almost like, I mean, in Feldman's mind, he must think this guy has a king now. It's almost like the guy's letting him hang himself, right?
Yep.
Doesn't it look like a king?
It's incredible he could just make that call with that hand. Now a 3 comes off, so we're back in the same scenario.
Check.
I mean, Feldman must feel like if he bets again, he's just going to get snapped off with the nuts.
Unless you put the guy on Queen Jack specifically. And then you can move in and take the pot down.
He's going again.
Well, folks, you're looking at the very hand that I predict whoever wins this hand wins this tournament. Can Andrew Feldman continue to show heart and continue to bet with nothing? He's doing it. He is doing it.
It didn't look, that wasn't the most confident bet in the world, but we know he's got a 4-6. Does Frankenberger?
Well, I'll tell you why it's such a good bet. Because he left himself some chips to move all in on the river, just in case he gets called here. If he puts his opponent on a Queen Jack or something like that, Ace Jack, where he might throw his hand away if he moves in on the river.
And Feldman has sold a good story here, Mike. I mean, wow. He's now bet this 3 times. He's re-raised him for the flop. He's bet the flop. He's bet the turn.
Well, all that lack of heart we saw from Feldman earlier.
What's he doing?
We're seeing now, but
what's Frankenberger doing?
He could well be topped by Frankenberger.
Mike, do you know anything about Frankenberger that suggests what?
He's coming over the top.
He's raising him.
He has done it.
He has raised him.
This is
and
unbelievable.
He's showing the ace high.
This is
showing the ace high.
Unbelievable by Frankenberger there. The way he played that hand. You talk about heart, folks. This guy has got it in spades.
What just happened? Who is this guy? He's coming for you.
What an incredible hand that was. I tell you, I salute both these players. Both of them showed heart in that hand like I can't believe. We saw Feldman 3-bet before the flop, bet on the flop, bet on the turn. Incredible. And then Feldman came back over the top of him on the turn. Neither one of them had anything. What poker.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. All right.
Well, folks, it shows you it's not about the cards. It's about the opponent, and it's about heart that you have if you want to win No Limit Hold'em tournaments. These guys both have it. Frankenberger outdoing him right there to take down that pot.
I've asked for water like half an hour ago, please. I mean, this is just not right. Can I have the water, please? I've asked about half an hour ago.
I'm just going to go get
What? How long do I need to wait for some water? It's ridiculous.
Why don't we calm down then?
No, but I mean, how many times do I need to ask? It's just an absolute joke.
You can see the frustration setting in on him
You were
right
waiting
now.
almost an hour for that. It's just a joke. I don't understand this.
I didn't ask like that, though.
This has been a match, a heads-up match.
Well, it really has been. It's been fun to watch. The great thing about watching poker is you can learn from mistakes as well as good plays. And we've seen both of that here in this heads-up battle.
Yeah. Well, Feldman's got about 30 big blinds. And my guess is the reason he's raised is because he's not excited to get all his money in with the king-queen. Of course, he would against the king-10.
Frankenberger could well come over the top with this king-10. And this could be the dream man for Feldman right here.
Feldman might shove here. He very well might shove here.
I think he will shove. And indeed he does, and he's called.
And Feldman's got a great spot.
He's got him dominated.
He's going to be the chip leader.
Unbelievable. He could take the chip lead here. Andrew Feldman, who's been sputtering and sputtering and sputtering, has a great opportunity to become chip leader in this heads-up battle.
How did he do it?
It's king-queen versus king-10.
Put a queen there.
How did he do it? But he has. Never say die, Feldman. 71% now to go chip leader, Mike.
Come on, just one of those.
From nothing.
One of those queens. Do you see the queen?
Well, he wants a queen. I'd rather have 2 deuces and a 3 come out.
Is she looking at me? Is the queen looking at me?
Queen would help him, but may give Frankenberger a straight opportunity some way. And there you go. He doesn't want a queen now, I can tell you that.
I don't think he wants a queen now.
He won't be hollering for that, is right.
No queen.
Well, he'll make a straight himself if a 10 comes out, so in order for Frankenberger to win this pot, he must catch a straight or 2 running diamonds to make a flush.
Black 10.
Needs a 7 or a queen. The board paired twice, they would split the pot. But right now, Feldman well out in front with a great shot to double up here and take the lead.
10, 10, 10. One more. Just pair the board.
Well, Mike, I don't think there's any. The queen is going to play. I don't think there's any split pots out here anymore.
Must be a queen or a 7. It's the only thing that'll do it for Frankenberger. Nothing else will win the pot for him. Must make a straight, has to catch a queen. He did it! He caught a queen on the river. One more time, Frankenberger has made a pat hand on the river to not only win the pot and to knock somebody out, but this time to win the tournament. It was just fate and destiny for Frankenberger to take down this tournament. The way he did it was dramatic. The way he knocked these players out at the final table, extra dramatic.
He's a river man. He's a man with heart. And Andy Frankenberger, Mike, Feldman put up a valiant fight, but you cannot say Frankenberger doesn't deserve it. He has been the man that everybody has had their eyes on this whole tournament.
Andy Frankenberger, our champion.
And I know how much Andrew Feldman wanted that title.
Andrew fighting back the tears. It shows you how much he did want to win this tournament. He knows he'd have been chip leader if he'd have just won that pot. It didn't happen. Still, he played great to get to this final table. Probably not so great in the heads-up battle. And you got to hand it to Andy Frankenberger. He deserved this title.
After a hard-fought heads-up, we do have a winner, but commiserations to our second-place finisher, Andrew. It seemed like your whole heart went into this game.
Yeah, I mean, I gave it everything. I just tried my very best. Andy played a phenomenal heads-up game that was extremely tough, and it's people may have said he may doesn't have the most experience. He probably would say he may have been the easiest, but that was tough. That was a really grueling couple of hours or so, and he did, to be fair, he did run pretty good in some key pots, but that's heads up, and I'll be back. I'll come back. I'll be I live to fight another day, and I'm still proud of my efforts, and just a shame I couldn't go one further, but that's poker.
Congratulations on a good showing. And to our champion, it seems like this is another year of the Frankenberger. It seems like we're doing it again, and this time you're doing it over here in Europe. So what does it mean to pull in a title on this side of the pond?
Yeah, this is the first time I've had any success this side of the pond, actually. So it's going to be a much better flight home than I'm used to.
Well, you get to take home a nice big check and also a beautiful shiny trophy. And we would like to present you with this, our first ever champion.
Thank you.